Hi there. I'm Brian Forsythe. I am currently doing AJATT. Uh, Actually, this is my first day of doing AJATT. AJATT means all Japanese all the time, which I am not very good at. I I started this journey by creating a new YouTube account and making the only language Japanese, and then typing random Japanese letters into the search bar and just finding whatever. So I clicked on a couple random videos to help get an algorithm going. And yeah, so I was just listening to YouTube videos all day. My watch time was around, or listen time, because I didn't watch anything. It was always playing in my ear the entire time, was around 5 hours, which is not bad. I think that for a first day, it's very strong. I live in America, and I have to go to school, and I need to work 2 jobs. So I'm surrounded by English all the time, which means that complete AJAT, cleaving all other language out of my life is impossible. It is. But having as much Japanese as possible within the times that I can listen to it is very important. So yeah, let me just tell you about a couple of the videos that I listen to. Going through my algorithm, typing random characters usually brought up music videos. So I eventually hit a Japanese YouTube poop for Gangnam Style. It's right here. This is the thumbnail. And also it's in the description if you want to watch it yourself. I was watching it and I thought, this is insane. Like, there's no way I could possibly learn any Japanese words from this whatsoever. I wasn't thinking that AJAT was insane. I just was like watching this video and I was like, yeah, this isn't helping me whatsoever. But after a couple of other videos, I went back to it and realized YouTube poops might be the best way to learn Japanese, because the thing with YouTube poops is that they splice segments of words together and then give you a visual to go alongside it. So if you've seen that video of the foolish samurai warrior wielding a foolish samurai warrior and so on and so forth, it is literally putting audio and visuals on the same boat. So watching this video, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're talking about, like, on the screen is the dog, so they're talking about the dog in the lyrics because it's sharing the same idea. It sounds insane, we're just saying it aloud, but yeah, whatever they're saying is being shown directly on screen. There's no interpretation of it. That is exactly what they're saying is what's on screen. So after watching that the first time, I watched a 2-hour-long kind of like podcast. I had no idea what they were talking about, but it was just 2 guys going back and forth. They were laughing the entire time, so I'm sure they had a nice time just talking about whatever they were. And then a video auto-played. And that video, the podcast was 2 hours in length, all right? And the video that came on next was 6 hours in length. Which is great. I love long-form content, and having one person speak Japanese in my ear for 6 hours made me understand that Japanese is a language. Japanese isn't a code that you're trying to break. Japanese is a language that has ups and downs in terms of tone and connotations. So listening to the same guy talk, I only got halfway through the video, unfortunately. That's why I only have 5 hours of listening time today, is because of that 2-hour-long podcast that I listened to, and then the 3-hour video that I'm about to explain. But I am very interested in watching, or at least listening to the rest of it, because around the first hour mark, it stopped sounding like a foreign language and more sounded like, well, just another language. It wasn't foreign. I still didn't understand what they were saying, but I could hear in the tone of their voice when they were happy, when they were being very serious, and when they were actually interested in what they were talking about or not. And that video is also going to be linked in the description. But I didn't even look at the thumbnail for the video. It just auto-played, and I just kept listening to it. I didn't even look at my screen for about the first 30 minutes. And then after the 30-minute mark, I was like, what am I listening to? And I looked at my screen, and on there was Adolf Hitler. And I was like, oh, this is a World War II. I guess it's technically called a documentary if it's explaining all the events of World War II. But they literally went from the beginning of World War II to the end of World War II. I think so. I haven't gotten to the end of the video. I'm only halfway through. But yeah, I was like, oh, I mean, this is fantastic. This is a great place to start, because I know a little bit about World War II. It's not a subject that I am 100% know every detail of. But it is something that I have general knowledge of. One thing going into this journey I didn't realize was that pronouns sound the same across Japanese and English. Like, the pronunciation may be different. Like, they started talking about the atom bomb, and the only reason I know they were talking about the atom bomb was because they said atom bomba. And that's my that's my pronunciation of terrible Japanese accent. But yeah, they said atom bomb, and I was like, oh, okay, so we're talking about the atom bomb now and the events of it. And then they said Hiroshima, and I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, that was something that happened in World War II, wasn't it? I find it, just to go on a side tangent here off of Japanese, these things happened. Like, America bombed another country. An atom bombed another country. That's insane. Pearl Harbor happened. Like, I don't think people who didn't live through that understand the ramifications of that. Like, in most cases, no one is a good person. Like, obviously, everyone was against Germany then, but everyone made very poor decisions in that war. They also talked about the Hindenburg for a little bit, which I did not think was in the span of World War II. I don't know if I'm going crazy, or I just never listened to the timeline of, like, iconic events in history. But yeah, they started talking about the Hindenburg about an hour and a half in, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that was around that time. Anyway, yeah, I went into AJATT day one thinking this is going to be completely arduous. I think arduous is the right word, where it's very labor intensive and I have to go out of my way to get this done. No, not really. I think that there's going to be some days where I'm going to be listening to less Japanese just because I have more on my plate. But for the most part, it didn't interrupt my workflow whatsoever. Like, I just played video games, changed the language and subtitles to Japanese as I was playing, and then listened to a podcast of people speak Japanese for 2 hours. And that's not difficult. I'm probably gonna, after I'm done making this video, I'm probably gonna go to bed and listen to more Japanese as I fall asleep, and hopefully that'll be good. I think this upload schedule is going to be a bit sporadic. I want to do a daily upload of about 10 minutes, just because that keeps me on my grind, constantly thinking, like, I got to make a 10-minute video tonight. What am I going to talk about? What videos did I watch? All of that nonsense. But there's got to be some nights where I did not do Japanese, which sucks because AJATT all of the time. All Japanese all the time. And it's already hard enough living in a country that's predominantly not Japanese. Like, it would be nice if I could go to Japan and live there for a couple months, but I don't have the time or money, or I hate flying. I've never flown before, but the idea of flying frightens me to my core. So Japan is a little bit away in terms of time. but yeah, I think that this was a great first day for me. So yeah, I didn't learn. Oh, I think I learned one Japanese word. I looked at the screen, and on it was a depiction of two army men in a trench, and there was a flat area of land with barbed wire on it. And when they first showed the army men in the trenches, they said Zongo, which I believe either means trench or land, because when I saw the whole picture, I was like, oh, they're talking about no man's land. Or they're talking about the trenches, because the trenches were also a big part of that. So I didn't learn a word, but I got the context around the word, and I figured out something to the best of my ability from there. And again, trench and land are two very different things. I'm leaning more towards trench just because they showed the trench as soon as they said the word. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will hopefully upload again tomorrow. That would be very nice. But it's not konnichiwa. It's not konbanwa. Is it konbanwa to say goodbye this late at night? I think konbanwa is still a greeting. You can see you can see how much Japanese I know just from the get-go. How do I say goodbye in Japanese? Hold on. I used to know this. Konnichiwa is hello. Hi is yes. Ie is no. Is it bengoshi? No. Bengoshi means arigato is thank you. Sumimasen is excuse me. Sode is that. Kode is this. Wa is proper word, the like main word of the sentence. Des is, or it. Ka is. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name for goodbye. But goodbye. I guess I'll look it up on Google Translate tonight so that way I can say it for the next video.